Hello and welcome back to CCSP certified channel. Today we are going to start thread modeling and we will cover two models, thread and stride, in this video lecture, and there will be one more lecture where we will cover remaining thread modeling models, but these are the two more important and one question you can expect from these two models. And if you are new to my channel, I would like to inform that this is a topic 6 going on, which is miscellaneous, and this is a ninth lecture of the same. Before this, I have already covered encryption and uses of encryption and the cryptography to secure cloud in topic 1, identity access management topic 2, cloud characteristics in topic 3, risk in the cloud in topic 4, and the international laws and standards in topic 5. And in this topic, I am covered the remaining portion, so around 100% will be covered by end of this topic 6. So over 90% syllabus is already covered via this video series. So my focus in this video series to help you get further faster in your CCSP exam certification. And the reason I started it couple of year before, when I started this and I prepare for my exam, there was not enough content available freely on the internet. So I decided to prepare a video series on the high probability exam topics, also difficult exam concept, because soundness of concept is very important to clear in the CCSP exam. Also, I do cover questions along with the theory, and that's very important to understand the concept and then see the what type of questions can be asked from those uh, concepts. And definitely I refer the CCSP question bank, but one of the important source of my teaching is the memory based question collected from my candidates, as I do conduct classroom teachings also. I will try to use my 15 years of IT knowledge, CCSP and CISSP and other cloud certification learnings to make things simple and easy for you. Many candidates ask me, do they need a dedicated classes to be attended? I say no. In case this is free and sufficient, in case you are good to grasp this, you don't need any actually mentorship. But in case you need more support, you need more assistance, you need someone who can resolve your doubts if you are weak in some areas, and some teaching styles you like, then you can go with that classroom or the other mode of the teaching. I do conduct classroom class mode of also, and I do sell a self-paced training program also, where you get recording of my classes, private YouTube channel, and then my guidance and customized question bank also. So if you are interested, you can write me at the ccsp-certified@gmail.com or WhatsApp me in +91 837 00 81064. There is no calling for facility on this one. WhatsApp me or do a WhatsApp call for the same. Now I come to the topic, which is thread modeling. But before this, I cover what is thread actually. So before we cover thread, let's cover vulnerability. So vulnerability is a weakness or flaw in the systems or network or applications, and we do a vulnerability assessment to identify a vulnerability. So in the layman language, I give an example like car. I have, let's say, luxury car of worth, let's say, 1 crore rupees. Still, it is a definitely beautiful and the good looking car, and definitely useful car, but it would have vulnerabilities like it may be automated systems, then that can be hacked, or lock can be broken, or mirror can be broken. So these are the vulnerabilities because these cars made of materials and softwares that may has a vulnerabilities. So every system has some vulnerabilities, and that is known as a weakness of the system. What is threat? Threat is a potential danger or harmful event. So it is an event that can exploit the vulnerabilities, so weakness in the systems, and cause the harm. So there are many vulnerabilities. We have seen that it can be overheated, or the software can be that hacked, or that doors can be broken. So these are the vulnerabilities, and threat is use of those vulnerabilities in the harmful manner. Like if my that system can be or software can be hacked, then that can be used to control the car remotely and do accidents. Or if my doors can be broken, then it can be stolen. So these are threats to the car. So system has a weakness and a harmful that event can be happened using that vulnerability that is known as a threat, and can be intentional or unintentional also. That software can be misbehave unintentionally also, or someone can hack also. So these are the weaknesses and threats to the that software. So that example we have given the car. They are the threat vectors. So if it is a attacker who can get illegal or unauthorized access to the computer system or network, this is known as a threat vector. So in this case, someone who want to steal the car is a threat vector. So one who know what are the vulnerabilities, and he can use that to steal the car or perform some operation like do accident remotely, then they are the threat vectors. There's a risk. We'll cover risk in another lecture in more detail. This more important, but risk is a likelihood or percentage probability that that event will occur. So it cannot be zero. It must be always more than zero. And there is a formula like that. There is a threat, but there is a likelihood that threat will occur. What is the asset value? Car that we have shown is a asset, and the worth is, let's say, 1 crore. This is asset value, and the vulnerability exposure, how vulnerable that system is. So we'll cover risk more detail later, but just want to tell you that even though there is a vulnerability in the systems, even though there is a threat in the systems, even though there is a threat vector, still the car cannot be stolen if it is inside a protected area like in the garage, or there is a guards there to protect the car. So even though all is are there, risk may be minimal. So that we'll cover when we cover the risk. So even though there will be threat, there will be threat actors, there will be vulnerabilities, still risk will vary based on the countermeasure we'll take. So for this we'll cover the threat modeling, which is most important for this topic. And threat modeling is used to determine any weakness in the application before the weakness is introduced to the productions. So threat modeling is more like a vulnerability assessment only. So we have seen that vulnerability assessment we perform to identify the weaknesses in the systems. So threat modeling is also to identify the weakness in the application before they are introduced in the production. And there is a one more important concept is a penetration testing. So threat modeling and penetration testings are two essential approaches to identify and addressing security vulnerabilities, sharing the same goals but different in the approach. How they are different in the approach? They are doing the same job of identify security vulnerabilities, but threat modeling seeks to identify potential threats before they can be exploited. So there are threats or there are weaknesses which can cause the problem to the systems, but they are being identified proactively in the threat modeling approach, where the penetration testing access the security of the system by attempting to exploit the vulnerabilities. So there is a vulnerabilities are there. Penetration testing try to exploit those vulnerabilities. That is post the systems go live. So the golden rule is threat modelings always happen in the design phase that we already covered in the last lecture of SDLC also. There's also very important lecture. Do watch them if you have not watched them yet. So threat modelings happens in the design phase of the process, where the pen test is a runtime process. When the application is already running and you want to ensure that this up to date, there is no vulnerability in the system, you perform some attack using the pen test tools and identify the assess the vulnerabilities. So there are two threat modeling uh, models. One is DRAID and second is STRIDE. We'll cover today. So first one is a DRAID. So DRAID was a model used by Microsoft till 2008, and it was designed based on the 5 questions, and the average out of the 5 questions are being used to identify whether threat is high, medium or low. Still many systems use it, but just to see that there are 5 DREAD. Important, remember the what is D, what is R, what is E, what is A, what is D, because there are two D here. So D is the damage potential, so how bad a damage can happen. That is the potential being calculated in the first question. Reproducibility is how easy it can be reproduced. Exploitability means how much it is exploiting, how many users it's affecting, and how easy can be discovered. So these 5 questions being used, and then we get the score between 0 to 10, and then we calculate the average of this, and based on this rating, if there is a high or low, based on the average rating received from this model. So this is not being used anymore. Just remember what is DREAD. This much is important for exam perspective, and that is being replaced by stride. So stride, a model which is again performed as a design phase, and where there are 6 categories it is identified here. Very important for exam perspective. At least one question you can see in the stride. So stride is ASTRIDE. S is spoofing of the identities. So you can be pretend to be something else, and might be, if you are from India, you might be knowing the Ravan. So you become Ravan, you become Sadhu, and you spoof the identity of Ravan, Sadhu. So Ravan spoofed the identity of a saint when he reached to Sita. So spoofing is to become someone else. Tempering is modifying something that you are not authorized to modify. Repudiation means claim that you haven't done something. So we have seen that logs are very important to identify the who has done what, and non-repudiation is that you cannot deny. So repudiation means claim that you did the something because you have already changed the logs or timestamp. Information disclosure is more like privacy breach or data breach. Denial of service are D&D, where someone is that authorized to use, but you are not allowing that service to be accessible to them. And DDoS attacks are the category under the denial of service or availability only. And the evaluation of the privileges, when a program with low permissions become admin and perform some task. So this is the authenticated issue of spoofing. Intrigue issue is tampering. Accountability is reputation. Confidentiality is the information disclosure. Availability on the denial of the service, and authorization on the permission side. Very important for exam. Remember what is STRIDE. We'll see what type of questions being asked from this model now. So Laura want to do a threat modeling. Which of the following tool being abandoned by Microsoft and replaced with a new model? We just read it is stride, which is being the new model. Dread is being removed. We will see the pasta and ATASM in the next lecture. Which is the following is not a component of stride. We have seen the S is spoofing, T is tempering, R is reputation, I is information disclosure, D is denial of service, and E is the evaluation of the provision. So there is no external pen testing. The option D is incorrect here. Bob is investigating a security incident and discovered that an attacker began with a normal user account but managed to exploit the system vulnerability to provide the account with administrative rights. This is the evaluation of the permissions. So which of the following attack part of the stride threat model? So which of the threats that remain in the system, that's because of this Bobby identified the attacker was able to exploit the systems. This is the evaluation of the permission. This type of question will ask, so they will create scenarios and they might ask a question from spoofing or reputation or tempering. So just remember not only keyword but what is this meaning of all 5 keywords, 6 keyword. If a pen test is able to modify audit logs, what stride categories best describe the issues. So when someone is able to modify the logs, then uh, logs are not being used to produce evidence. Also, it is a tempering case, correct? So they have tempered the data. So tempering is one of the options should be there. So tempering information disclosure might not be there because this information is not a user information. Evaluation of permission is not there. Repudiation is there. So you cannot use these logs anymore to produce in the court or the evidence purpose. So repudiation and tempering are the best answer here. Though information disclosure can also be the answer, but there is nothing mentioned that it has also explored some of the data of the user. So logs are more reputation and the tempering purpose. The last one, which of the following is not checked when they using the stride threat models? So in the stride, what we check? So we check permissions definitely. We check that authorizations. We check that authentication, reputation, but there is no business continuity and disaster recovery, which is a part of option B. So stride model does not work on the BCDR model. All others are part of the stride. So that's for today. Hope you have liked the content. Please like my channel, subscribe my channel. Thank you.